Where's Teeter? Where's Teeter? Where's Teeter? Where's Teeter? Boom! Oh, buddy, you scared me. Hi, welcome back to Cue It or Screw It. I'm Kye Hogan.
I missed you.
I have to make a whole new graphic for that. I won't make a whole new graphic.
This week we're going to be talking about the movie What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
This movie was suggested to us on Twitter by @LB94, our friend Lauren. So she thought that this was a pretty good movie and one worth our watching. So what was this movie about, Teeter?
She's not my friend. Gilbert Grape is the classic story of a boy who's trapped in his situation. He's at an age where he wants to grow up and move beyond his hometown and his family, but the responsibilities and how much trust his family puts in him keeps him stuck. And so it's just a story of a kid who's stuck and how he gets unstuck with the help of his mentally disabled brother, a cute young Juliette Lewis, and some other interesting characters that kind of tie everything together.
Yeah, it was a very nice coming-of-age tale. Like, I think it was very archetypical. Like, now we see a lot of movies like that, and I feel like this was the first really good one of the 90s that spurned just a lot of imitators. And I thought this was really good between its strong main characters, and it also had a lot of strong supporting actors in it, too. I mean, you had John C. Reilly sneak into this movie, and he was really good throughout. I always forget
John C. Reilly.
Yeah, I always forget that he was a pretty big dramatic actor through most of the 90s, too. So it's always interesting to be like, oh, that was the guy from Walk Hard. And Mary Steenburgen, also in this movie, and I think she did a great job. Kind of one of those people who's older and was supposed to signify like moving on and growth for Gilbert Grape, but in the end ended up being a person that was more symbolic of holding him back.
Yep. Okay, so like Kyle kind of talked about, I think the biggest strength of this movie is the relationships that are explored throughout. Specifically, the relationship between Gilbert, who's played by Johnny Depp, and his mother, and then Gilbert and Annie, who's played by the young, beautiful Juliette Lewis.
Which is great.
And so I think that was really, for me, it was really the star of the movie. It's really what put this movie above being a fairly generic coming-of-age story.
Because they were really great, well-written relationships that were symbolic, but at the same time very believable.
Yes.
And seemed like something that someone of that age, those are the kind of relationships that people build. And it's just so interesting to see all of the struggles that Gilbert goes through between having to be basically the patriarch of his family and hold everything together in the family. Especially in terms of his brother, trying to help out with that and be the best that he can possibly be, and then realizing that he can't always be there for everyone and do everything, and he does feel like the weight of the world is on his shoulders, and it is, and he handles it the best that anyone could. I mean, what would any of us do in those situations?
Yep. Well, and like you said, they're believable, but I think that part of why I really enjoyed the relationships is that they're believable, but they also have this kind of mystery to them.
Certainly a depth.
Yeah, well, and you don't, it's kind of unpredictable what's going to happen in a lot of ways, especially in the relationships. What happens, it feels like, okay, that's feasible, this could actually happen, but it's not like, oh, this is what always happens. This is just been done so many times.
Yeah.
And so I think, again, that's really where the movie's foundation is.
Just one of the most powerful scenes to me was when he was finally ending his embarrassment of his home life and letting the person he cares about most into that. So he brought Juliette Lewis home and said, I'd love for you to meet my mother and be a part of that life. And usually that's something that he tries to shun away and not show the rest of the world because of his embarrassment. But now he's kind of gotten a sense of pride, and he doesn't want to deny that part of his life to anyone, especially the person he cares about most, Juliette Lewis.
I think the thing that I dislike most about this movie is that the style is very 90s. Yes, this movie was made in the 1990s, so
93, yeah.
1993, so of course it fits a lot of the cliche 90s shots, the music, the styles, but it really dates itself in the way it's made.
Yeah.
especially the camera shots, they just feel really, really like this isn't what the 1990s every camera shot was like.
Yeah, I would say timeless story, but aged style.
Yes. Also, it's kind of a slow story.
It is pretty slow,
Not
but
a whole lot happens.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is kind of anticlimactic.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing in our analysis that we haven't covered yet is how wonderful Leonardo DiCaprio is in this movie.
Give the guy an Oscar.
So Leonardo DiCaprio is great as this cool guy. So it's really nice to see when he was younger that he was really taking on roles that pushed him.
Mm-hmm.
And that he really has the talent and ability to really transform himself and really transform the movie through his acting, through his skill and talent.
Like, he just became that character, and
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't, I mean, you'd hardly believe that in real life he was a completely normal individual.
Yep.
So in the end, I would definitely say this is a Q movie. It's a classic. It's, if you enjoy something, if you can get over the fact that it's very 90s, cue it.
Yep.
Wonderful story, wonderful acting, great character growth, just a phenomenal movie all the way around.
Yep. If you're a fan of really strong characters and really strong relationships, if you're also a fan of really wonderful acting, Gilbert Grape is the movie for you.
Definitely.
If you're tired of kind of cliche 90s movies, then Gilbert Grape may not be just right for you. It may bother you a lot. But I think when it comes down to it, when it boils down to it, Gilbert Grape has this timeless story with some really phenomenal timeless acting, and I think that really pulls it into being a Q-able movie, and a movie that is 100% worth your time.
That was our take of the movie. If you have an opinion on it, feel free to tweet at us at Q or Screw, or you can check out our blog spot and see what else we thought about this movie, as well as some of our other reviews.
Yeah, definitely. And like we said, this movie was recommended by a dear friend of ours, Lauren, our rival, Lauren, and we really do take your recommendations to heart. We really do appreciate you guys talking to us on Twitter, or our blog spot, or really wherever in the comment section of YouTube.
Yeah.
We will listen. We will try to respond.
We like having a conversation with you.
Yeah, and we want to see what movies you want us to be watching and giving you opinions on.
All right. So until next time, I'm Kye Hogan.
And I'm Andrew Teeter.
Keep on queuing. Bow, wow, now.